Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. It doesn't matter if you have Libra in your chart somewhere, it may resonate for you. So Libra, the first thing I'm getting was this old Libra video that I did. I'll link it above in case you're interested. So I rewatched that video early this morning because it was coming through very strongly. And when I did that video, because I'm a Libra Sun, when I did that video, I had no idea what it was talking about at the time. I was just like receiving a very specific message. I delivered it, and then I sort of just considered it, of course, but didn't really understand where or how it was happening or unfolding in my life. But now that I've rewatched it, it was over a year ago, that video. It's making a lot of sense now. But anyways, so the message in there for you, it doesn't have to be about that video. It might not resonate for you, that one specifically, but the message that's coming through with that energy is that there may be something from the past that's now making a lot of sense. There may also be something about it was coming through as like a before and after. So if you do choose to watch that video, you'll notice I'm wearing the same shirt. That's intentional. I purposely chose this shirt as part of the message. So it's coming through as like a before and after sort of like image, that kind of thing, before and after. Perhaps you're seeing something from the past of like how you have changed. Because whenever I'm reminded of like a really old video of mine, there is a little bit of like an embarrassment factor about just how much I've changed. It's not something to be embarrassed about, but there is that element there. I'm not going to lie about that. It is a bit embarrassing. So there may be something like that for you as well. The color green is very significant for your reading today. I was getting this message very specifically of 5 green cicadas. Like it's coming through as like a sentence, like 3 blind mice, like that kind of thing. 5 green cicadas. But it also wants to be split into like 3 different symbols, like 5, which normally represents change. Green as the color. The shirt is kind of like, well, it's green, but it's really old, so it doesn't look that green anymore. Green and cicadas, which is sort of like the animal energy that's coming through for you. I didn't Google this one because I feel like this will have a very personal meaning to you. What I was getting for cicada, though, as an energy, like what I know about cicadas, we don't have that many here in Canada, I don't think, anyways. But what I was getting for that insect, what I know about cicadas is they have sort of like very irregular rhythms in terms of like when they come out to mate, basically. And like it's kind of like I think I watched this video a long time ago about like how they have like there are 2 different cycles of cicadas. One's like a 13-year cycle and one's like a 17-year cycle or something like very irregular like that. So they emerge from the ground like every 13 or 17 years. And I think this year or last year, I can't remember which year it was the year when those 2 cycles happened at the same time, where like the 13 and the 17-year cycle cicadas were happening at the same time. So all of the cicadas basically were coming up from the ground. There's an interesting energy of death and rebirth, and also it kind of feels like there's something that you have been waiting for a very long time, Libra, that is closer than you think it is how it's coming through. And indicators of whatever that manifestation is for you will be shown to you with the numbers 5, or the symbols, I should say, 5, green, and cicada. And whatever that is for you, it's I don't know what else. Like, it feels like very specific to somebody. And okay, so there's also something about intuition, right? Because if we go like just back to that video that I was referencing, when I recorded that video and posted it, I had no idea how it was going to unfold. I just knew that it was resonating for me. So there may be something where it's like something's resonating for you. So say you're watching like a video, like a tarot video, and it's resonating for you. So you want to watch it, but you don't necessarily understand why, or the messages aren't quite making sense at the moment, or that kind of thing. But it's still resonating. And that I feel like you may be going through that at the moment, where you may be having experiences that are like really resonating for you, like you're drawn to watch it, it's creating synchronicities, that kind of thing, but you may not understand what it's like, or how it's going to unfold, or like the specific details of it. And just to be patient, because there will be a time in the future when you look back now and you'll be like, okay, now I understand what that was about. I understand the symbols that were coming through. I understand like why all these things were happening the way that they were happening, and that kind of thing. So anyways, a reminder as well, Libra, to be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. So we're going to get started. Taking a deep breath. I've been like feeling nervous for weeks now. Like there's just been like this like nervousness. You have 2 cards here. I'm not going to take them because they don't feel right to me. But this energy is present. There's an energy outside of you that wants to reconcile. That's just a message that's coming through. An energy outside of you that wants to reconcile. Okay. Spirit of the river. Movement towards adventure. That one always talks to me about being open. Then you have mindful, groupthink. Ooh, Magician's Sword. Confidence in your magic. Vanishing Mirror. Ego sublimation. Okay. Being open to a new experience is kind of how it's coming through. The mindful card talks about like making sure that your mind is clear from other influences. Keeping a clear mind, hurtful thoughts, groupthink. That's, yeah, okay. The human mind can be so many things. A prison, a latrine, a circus, a temple, a cave. It can be a place of restriction or a place of never-ending expansion. Right now, be careful of where you wander in your mind. The quality of your thoughts is key, as you're in a fertile time for full manifestation. You want to ensure that the seeds you plant will sprout and flourish into the life you seek to grow. Being mindful not to scatter weeds. It's easy to be influenced by others right now too, especially in our digital age. It's hard to protect yourself from the energy and the sheer amount of information bombarding you 24/7. If you allow all the fear and uncertainty to pollute your mind and emotions, you will fill yourself up with this negativity and then see more of it in the outer world. Stay out of gossip and other forms of groupthink, for when you cut another person down to their level due to their perceived mistakes or limit them by your envy, you activate lack for yourself. So fill yourself with thoughts of plenty. Imagine your universe unfettered by scarcity and alive with abundant hope and goodness. Be mindful of what your mind is full of and keep the faith. Good brings more good, love more love, gratitude more things to be grateful for. Okay, Libra. It's so interesting because that reading, again, you don't necessarily have to watch that one. I'm going to try and keep this sort of like a fresh energy. But there was this energy in that reading about sort of like withdrawing from a group in order to get yourself clear. So that might be necessary for you. There might be an opportunity coming up for you to sort of be apart from a group in order to get yourself clear and to sort of like remove potential restrictions. Okay, so this Spirit of the River card talks about like being addicted to problems is usually how it comes through, which is interesting, and to sort of let go of trying to solve things, let go of trying to solve a particular problem. Maybe there's this energy here of like, I'm gonna be honest, maybe an energy of like codependency, especially with this group, like with a particular group to like solve problems, or like there's always something that you need to do, Libra, and it's like maybe there isn't. Maybe you don't have to do anything about this problem. Maybe you don't have to do anything. So it's kind of just like coming through like that. Okay, I'm definitely going to read the Magician's Sword because that's the first time I've seen that one in a reading since I've been using this deck. So, confidence in your magic, nothing can stop you, the beauty you seek. When the Magician's Sword appears, you are called to cut the cords that bind you to old thought forms and beliefs, and to friends who are not true. With the power of the Magician's Sword, nothing can stop you, hurt you, or turn you away from the beauty you seek or the goal you desire with all your heart. The sword is a tool, not a weapon, so make sure you wield it wisely and for the greater good. Find the stuck places where you are kept tethered to a toxic person, a particular location, or a faulty thought or belief, and let the blade do its magic. You have a large endowment of magic available to you when you believe in miracles. Sorry, that was a weird way of phrasing it. But don't look to the heavens to grant you a wish. Look within. Use the Magician's Sword to cut through limiting beliefs, and remember that all beliefs are limiting. Interesting. And focus your intention in order to create what you wish. You have all the tools you need for the task at hand. You need only muster the wherewithal to deploy the resources you have. When the Magician's Sword appears, it is time to get moving. This is not a tool for contemplation, for gazing at the finely polished edge. It is an instrument calling for decisive action. And remember, the sword is alive with a wisdom you can summon to help you find the best course of action. Do not hesitate, act. Very interesting, Libra. You have a magic sword. A very large magic sword, if this card is to be understood. I feel like there's like a significant course of action that you are being asked to take, but that it is unique to you, and that there may be sort of energies around you with this groupthink energy of like I don't know, maybe there's a group that you're withdrawing from, or whatever it is for you. that like I don't know, I'm gonna get more cards. There may be a group or a particular person who is trying to get you to solve their problem, is how it's feeling to me. And for a Libra, that can be sort of like having to say no to that kind of energy can be challenging. I'm just going to phrase it like that. So just being mindful of in yourself, if there's any sort of like codependent, perhaps, or limiting beliefs, perhaps, like patterns within yourself, where if somebody asks for your help in solving a problem, it might be that your tendency or pattern is to say yes. And maybe there is something here about saying no that is significant for you. So, because I feel like there's something here about like your magic that's important and that's wanting to be claimed, is how it's feeling. I feel like you're at this point because there's this before and after kind of energy. You're at this point where you might feel like you're at an after, right? Like the after significant transformation. At the same time, this is also your before. This is a before. And there's going to be a point in the future where you look back at this moment here and say, that was a before moment. It's coming through like that. It feels very significant. Okay. The bat, yeah. Closure. Okay, so there was this bat came out in a reading a couple of I can't remember which reading it was. It was recent though. Which was talking about like echolocation. So I wanted to like explain that better because I got another download after that reading about this energy where I was talking about echolocation, where it's like bats will send out a signal, right? Like they have like a screech, I believe, like something like that. Sound wave. They send out sound waves. And then the sound waves get absorbed by potential obstacles or whatever's around them in their environment. And then it gets bounced back in a different form. So that's how it's coming through about like a synchronicity that there may be a manifestation that is arriving for you or that you're moving towards, but you can't see it yet because it's coming through with like blindness. You can't see the manifestation for some reason. It is something that you've been waiting for or trying to manifest. And so one way in which you can almost like test this, right? It's like you send out a sound wave, like perhaps you like perhaps it does have something to do with speaking, or you just like say something, maybe even to yourself, or you write it down about a specific manifestation that you're looking for, that you're trying to manifest, and then you just wait and notice what comes back to you in the form of synchronicities, because it's not going to be exactly the word or the thing or the whatever. It's talking about synchronicities, how they come back to you in a different form. In this case, it's coming through with like the symbols, right? Like the symbols that I so for you, might not be that exactly. I was given that specific phrase for this reading. 5 green cicadas. It might be something different for you, though, for example. But like how quickly that synchronicity bounces back to you is an indicator of how close that manifestation is to arriving. And I feel like it's closer than you think is how it's coming through. It's closer than you think. I feel like there may also be like this energy here with the spirit of the river of like maybe a sort of like self-limiting belief of like, oh, I have to fix everything, or I have to do a whole bunch of work on myself in order to get this manifestation to come quicker, or I have to do a lot of work, or I have to do a lot in order to speed up the manifestation. And it's like, no, that's not true. That's like, it's kind of coming through as being like, take a breath, take a moment to just pause and wait and listen for what is coming back to you, is kind of how it's feeling. And I feel like there's no, I'm just gonna leave that there. Just wait. Be patient. I know that's like such an annoying message to receive. Okay, so I'm seeing this sort of like, I'm seeing like panels of like an umbrella, like, you know how they're made of the same panel sort of repeated, or like on a baseball cap, different panels, which is interesting. One thing repeated in a cycle. I feel like you're closing out a major cycle, Libra. You're in the after, but at the same time, your after is the before to a future event, right? So it's kind of coming through like that, before and after, before and after. Yeah, dragon. Dragon coming out under the mindful. Okay, so the dragon, I have in the Tea Leaf Oracle deck, the dragon comes out with the message of beware of self-delusion. And how I see that card and that message is like, be aware of intentions or ideas or energies or feelings or things that don't belong to you, that are not yours. So there's kind of coming through as being like having to sort through with the dragon's eye, having to sort through like what manifestations perhaps. No, it's not well, maybe. It could be manifestations that are perhaps like within your environment, but that don't necessarily belong to you, perhaps, especially if you're in close quarters with other people, or you're spending a lot of time with other people. There may be sort of like an overlap between your manifestations and other people's manifestations, which is not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that as a negative judgment or anything like that, because that's unavoidable. You are going to get manifestations in your environment that are not something that you manifested, but perhaps like your partner or your friend or whatever, they manifested. And just being aware of that, it's not necessarily to like get rid of things that are not yours. It's like, no, but just be aware of when something is yours and when something is not, is how it's coming through. It's coming through with awareness and consciousness. Both of these energies are coming through very like sitting back and waiting to see what is reflected back to you. Because I feel like here, with this ego sublimation, there's something about, you may be sort of like seeing things, like it's kind of coming through as being like a Neptune energy, where it's like, the ego dissolves, meaning like there's no separation between you and other people. So there may be like in terms of your identity, where you may be experiencing things or having like synchronicities even that relate to other people. Is that possible, to have synchronicities for other people? It's complicated. It's complicated. Okay, so maybe there are things that you are manifesting with another person or other people, plural. I keep getting this message of +1. +1. Something extra is kind of how it's going through. Or something being added to you. Well, it could be something like, who's your +1, Libra, but it's almost like your +1 has a +1. Not in like a third party kind of way. It feels kind of like something else. Like there's like more energies in your space than you think there are, is just how it's coming through. There's one more, is how it's feeling. Because it's kind of like there's somebody that you're connected to, but they have a significant person in their life, like a +1. Like it could be like a child or a sibling or a parent or somebody who's kind of like dependent on that person that you're connected to. So it feels kind of like a child. But it doesn't have to be that, right? It's like their +1. That person, the person that you're connecting with, has somebody that always has a +1 with them, right? Like somebody who's perhaps dependent on them in some way. So like a child, it could be that. It doesn't have to be that exactly though. And so it's like it's interesting because if you're connecting with this person on like a spiritual level, emotional level, astrally, it's like your mind is filled with sort of like your manifestations, your emotions, your dreams, your wishes, all of that, and the person that you're connected to, and the person that's connected to them, is how it's feeling. So just being aware of that, because you may be seeing, like, because it may be that if you haven't met this person yet, let's say it's somebody that you haven't met yet, or that you're not super familiar with at the moment, it's like you may be seeing already signs and manifestations in your present moment that you don't understand yet, because you don't know that person well enough, or you don't know that person's +1 well enough, or that kind of thing. There's like a lot of like friend of a friend, or child of a partner, or like sibling of a partner, like in-law kind of energy. It's that kind of thing. You may be actually interesting. You may be getting like synchronicities about those connected people, is how it's feeling to me. So just being aware of that, because there may be something's coming into sharper focus for you, because it's almost like, because the bat is blind, right? The bat is blind. I feel like this energy of blindness is coming to an end for you, and then the dragon sees all. That's really interesting. So you're moving into this place of like perhaps like not being able to see, right? A metaphorical blindness, into being able to see everything that's connected to you in whatever way that is. There was a reading I did a couple of days ago about like a blinding light that keeps you from seeing something, right? Because if you get a light blinded in your eye, it impairs vision, right? Too much of something can impair. So there's something about maybe your eyes have adjusted now to this blinding light, and it's not blinding anymore. It's like you've adjusted to it. You've adjusted to this new energy, and it's like you may not be understanding everything that you're seeing, but you're seeing it all, is how it's feeling to me. That's really interesting. You may not be understanding everything, but you are seeing everything. So maybe there's this energy here of like discovery, learning that's going to happen. Again, this feels like a before moment. You're seeing it all. And then the process of whatever this process is like deciphering what each thing means. And then there's going to be an after, where it's like, okay, I look back and I understand everything that I saw in the beginning phase that was confusing to me. It's that kind of thing. Confidence in your magic. The otter and the lizard. Very interesting. Okay, because I've been talking in the Gemini. So the Gemini reading that I did yesterday might be relevant to you as well. Because it was talking about dryness versus water, which is what's represented here, right? The lizard, I always see this lizard card as being thirsty, right? Like having like dry skin, which was a very big theme in Gemini's reading. And then the otter, of course, represents water and playfulness and joy. It's so interesting. There's this energy here of like slinkiness. I don't know how else to describe it. I went to the mall a couple days ago with my sister, and we went into this like craft store where there were like these like there were like these 3D printed dragons and lizards and like other animals where it's like it looked like a skeleton or a vertebrae. That's also what I'm seeing here, like a spine, the vertebrae. And it's like seeing like the connections of each of those things, which is like very solid. Like when they were sort of like there was like this whole T-Rex skeleton, which is so cool. That I don't know, someone's into dinosaurs or something. Which was like there's so much coming in. 1 second. Give me a moment to like catch up to the words. There was this 3D printed T-Rex skeleton or dragon or something like that. There were multiple different animal things. And it was 3D printed, and it was like all connected together, right? The links between the vertebrae. So when it was sort of standstill, it like stood upright. It was very solid, but as soon as you picked it up, it became like slinky. It became like slinky and like very fluid. That's what I'm seeing here. Like very solid, but also fluid. Now I'm getting like those like I think they're called like non-Newtonian fluids, where it's like if you put pressure on it, it's like solid. But if you move slowly, it's very fluid. Like it's like cornstarch and water. If you've ever like mixed enough, like the right proportions of cornstarch and water, it becomes that non-Newtonian fluid. Anyways, getting so off track here. Or maybe we are on track. I don't know. There's a very significant shift here between like because I often see this otter card as like surrounded by water, a lack of water into surrounded by water. And that's part of your magic, Libra. Because the otter talks about, I do want to read that one because I feel like that's what you're headed towards. It's a very like fluid energy. Unobstructed joy, playfulness, contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck. The otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. When in balance, the otter is full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, it's gloomy, sighs, makes silly excuses to bring into balance a dance party or a celebration. This one, it's like it's feeling very much like a shift, a very significant. This is the before and after. That's what this is, a before and after between the lizard, because the lizard in this deck talks about like being very sensitive, having to withdraw from big crowds, because I feel like maybe there's something here about the mindful of like maybe feeling overwhelmed by other people's energy. It could be something like that with a lizard, into one that's like just playful and joyful and doesn't need anything, is just present and having fun. And there's like spider at the bottom of the deck. Again, with the addiction to problems, Libra, I feel like you need to have more fun. I'm just going to say it like that. There's like, I feel like maybe you've been surrounded by energies that have needed you to fix their problems for them. And I feel like you're saying no to that. I'm not going to fix your problem for you. That's your problem. That's your problem, is how it's coming through. And, okay, this is my Aries moon coming out. For me personally, of course, I'm a Libra sun, Aries moon. And that's it comes through with conflicts at times, especially in terms of relationships, because Libra rules the house of relationships. Aries rules the house of the self. I feel like for you, Libra, you're being asked to focus on yourself. What brings you joy? It's like, because it's coming through with the Magician's sword, it's coming in with the self. What brings you joy? And it's not to say that relationships are not part of that, because this card to me is talking about what relationships bring you joy. And if they're not bringing you joy, maybe that's something that you consider, like asking the question, why? Why is that relationship not bringing joy? And is there something that you can do to change that? And if not, maybe it's just something that does not continue on with you. You're closer than you think, Libra, is just how I'm going to phrase it. There may also be something about being in the spotlight that's uncomfortable for you. 6 of Wands, 7 of Cups. Okay. So this is the confusion, the 7 of Cups. 6 of Wands talks about overcoming a challenge, right? Perhaps you are overcoming some sort of challenge. The 6 of Wands also does talk about sort of like a public acknowledgement or celebration of having overcome a problem or challenge or battle, so to speak. So it feels like you are moving out of that place, and it's like the 7 of Cups, or it's like you have achieved that. You've overcome something. You're in the after of whatever challenge it was that you were facing before. And the 7 of Cups is coming through as being like that energy of the mindful, where it's like you're seeing everything about what's available to you, but you may not be understanding everything that is available to you. You haven't explored it yet. I feel like this is almost giving you, like, how do I phrase this? A catalog is how it's coming through. Like a catalog of everything that's available to you. Because I'm now just seeing like, you know, like getting flyers in the mail, right? Like that kind of thing. Getting like flyers in the mail from a store or whatever. All the things that they sell, all the things that are on sale, that kind of thing. And for you, it feels like you get to choose, is how it's coming through. You get to choose. But there are some things in the catalog that you don't even know what they do. You don't know what it is. Like, because I'm seeing things like appliances, for example. Like, it's like really, it's like coming through very strongly with like Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire, which is like a home hardware store if you're not Canadian. Something like that, where it's like they have like appliances, or they have like a whole bunch of different departments, or and it's like there may be some departments, so to speak, that you have no idea where to even start, is how it's feeling. And it's like, so you're seeing all of these things, but you're like, I don't know what that does. I don't know what that's used for. I don't know what's like, and it's like, be patient with this process, because this is what you're moving into, is how it feels to me. It's going to become more clear as you move through it. Knight of Wands. Ten of Cups. You're moving very quickly into the 10 of Cups. Okay, so there may also be something about Knight of Wands, because the way that this Knight of Wands is looking back at the 7 of Cups, you may also, because that's also coming in with that groupthink energy, be aware of the choices that you're making. Because they may not be yours. Like, it may not be something that you are choosing. How do I say that? It may be somebody else's influence that might be impacting the decisions you make, is how it's coming through. Somebody else's influence that may be impacting the decisions that you're making at the moment. So just being conscious of that. It's not coming through as a warning. It's not coming through as like, well, maybe a little bit with the Knight of Wands. Like, take your time. Don't be hasty. But at the same time, you are moving very quickly, is how it's coming through. Into the 10 of Cups. Knight of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. Okay, there may be a message coming in. There's Taurus and Capricorn energy here with the Queen of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and Gemini, Knight of Swords. There may be some sort of message coming in with the Knight of Swords. I feel like you're going to be wearing a new hat, Libra. There's a different role that you will be playing. A different aspect of your identity as well with the Vanishing Mirror. That has something to do with your magic. A period of drought is ending. So 8 of Cups and the Fool. Yeah, I feel like you're walking away from somebody else's problems. And you're starting over is how it feels. In some aspect of your life. Like, I feel like there's something where you're walking away from something that's not satisfying. Feels like other people's problems, if I'm going to be honest. Or your codependency to those people, that might be not satisfying anymore. Like a codependency to fix other people's problems. The Lovers, yeah. I feel like you are being brought together with another energy. That's always what I see with this Lovers. Like, it's a choice. It's a choice, of course. But there's also like a universal energy that is bringing you together with this other. And the other, I feel like, is already, like, you're already seeing signs of this other in your space. You're already seeing the signs of it, especially if there are like suddenly new things that are happening, or like new opportunities that are coming towards you, or like manifestations that are suddenly happening. That's a sign of this one's arrival, is kind of how it's feeling. Like they're approaching, feels like, or you are being brought together. It doesn't necessarily have to do with like I feel like you are also going to be moving, Libra, in some way. Like there's movement involved in this, because you do have Spirit of the Adventure. There's some sort of movement that I feel like you are being asked to do, perhaps to bring you closer to whatever this new energy is. It doesn't have to be a person for you, but it is coming out with the 10 of Cups. So happiness, emotional satisfaction, bliss with other people. And the +1 feels like... I'm saying that with love. I feel like it's like somebody's like child or sibling or parent. I don't know. It feels like a relative of the person that you're connecting to, who's also going to be a significant part of your life, feels like. King of Cups. Empress. Could be a child. Ooh, the Tower. Okay. I have to get another card for that. The Devil, a strong Capricorn energy, and Taurus, because you have Empress and Hierophant, and Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn. Queen of Swords. Well, that's you, Libra. Your magic. I feel like with the Tower and the Devil coming out, that there is something that has been destroyed. Like some sort of pattern of behavior that has gone through a significant transformation. This Tower card to me, okay, yeah, somebody went through a tower. I don't know who. I feel like it's not you, Libra. Somebody went through a tower around you. Is going through a tower moment. Ten of Wands. Three of Swords, yeah. King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, interesting. Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I feel like there's, okay. So the thing with the cicadas, it's really interesting. The 13 and 17 year cycles, those numbers I feel like are significant because 13 talks about death, is the death card. 17 I think is the Star. Okay. Very interesting. Leaves and branches are also coming through as symbols. A branch with no leaves. There could also be something about autumn, like your birthday season if you're a Libra sun, or just like October when the leaves start to fall. That might be significant in terms of timing. And it's also like with the 13 and 17, because you also have 3 and 7 here in the Magician's Sword. A coinciding event. There may be two separate events that are coming together at the same time. One feels like it's a tower moment for the Devil energy. The other feels like it's a positive message of like with the Hierophant and the Queen of Pentacles. So one feels like a tower moment, not yours, but somebody around you who's going through a tower moment has an impact on you though, for some reason. And another coinciding event that is also feels like positive, nurturing, peaceful, blissful energy for you, but both are sort of coming up at the same time and coinciding is how it's coming through. Okay. There may be some anxiety, Libra, for you. Try to ground to that as much as possible and be patient, because I feel like it might be another month or so, feels like. You have like a buffer is how it's coming through, a buffer of time for this to unfold. Okay, Libra, so the Animal Apothecary card that you got is, it's in you, number 24. So I'm going to read that for you. The Not So Cowardly Lion. In the story of the Wizard of Oz, the Cowardly Lion traveled the yellow brick road to get to Emerald City to request what his heart most longed for, courage. Little did he know that during his entire frightening journey, he already possessed that which he sought so desperately. For in his heart there roared a courage that was always his to claim. The cowardly lion needed the outer journey to understand that what he most desired was always within. What you seek, you too have in you. Do not give up the journey. Persevere and endure the uncertainty. Remember that having courage does not mean you are fearless. It means you do the thing despite being scared. Cowardly Lion, who now has transformed into Confident Lion, shares his medicine with these questions. What if everything you've been searching for is not only right in front of you, but it is in you? What if everything you've been chasing outside of yourself was the part of you that you couldn't see within? What if you were looking at others to find the you that was screaming to be self-actualized? What if every beautiful quality you deeply want, you already possess? What if the sweep you off your feet love is your own love within, reflected back to you? What if the gift you have been waiting to actualize was crying out, I'm right here, please, please, please see me? What if this whole entire time it was you were searching for? What if you choose you and stop waiting for others to choose you? What if you stopped running towards external validation to prove your worth and instead went within and became yourself? I'm going to leave it there, Libra. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.